Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the WEL9 featuring myself and WaXeN for CS2. Quite a surprising duo indeed, but it is lovely to be here. Very exciting stuff. The grand finale for CS2, and we've got quite a show for you today. It's going to be the Wolfhounds versus the Puffins. WaXeN, how are you doing? I believe since the last time we spoke, quite a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, this is the double header of the week for us, Dante. We are meeting in the most unexpected places, and I think it's an early Christmas wish that came through for both of us, because we said, oh yeah, we should do this more often, and there we are. Courtesy of the WEL, we've got the chance to cover another amazing best of 3 of Counter-Strike, and I'm so keen to see what these teams have in store for us. I've been following on and off the league, well, for the last couple of seasons, but I haven't really, stuck through a whole season. But maybe after this cast, if these two teams can impress me, I'm going to tune in more often.
I mean, if there's one thing that WEL does, it always impresses, and we will see exactly how both of these teams have impressed us all the way to the grand finals. Again, Wolfhounds versus Puffins, it is the big best of 3, and as you can see here, in terms of it, it has been a bit of a, not shaky, but particularly Wolfhounds are usually a team that very much are kind of popping off, usually quite at the top of the bracket. Puffins occasionally have had like moments of greatness, and occasionally do phenomenal upsets, but arguably a little bit less consistent than their opponents here. But we'll see. Again, 9 seasons of WEL, 9 seasons to hone your craft, practice against your opponents, and learn how they play.
Yeah, it's always, the more tape there is, the more you can learn about your opponents, and the more you can learn about yourself. You know, going back and watching your VODs and your matches is exactly what you want to do to improve and, get to that next level. But I'm gonna go on a limb and say that this is gonna go to a 3-mapper. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's because last time we covered the game together, we wanted 3 maps and we didn't get the chance to see it. So today, I believe this is our night, Dante.
We've not had a best of 3 in, I believe, quite some time since we've worked together, so it would be nice to get that change through, of course. So we are seeing the SEA Dragons versus Tribal. That will be happening at the same time, so do get yourself logged into the socials and such to keep up with it. But Wolfhounds versus Puffins, we are already going to be getting right into this, the knife round, to decide which team is going to be starting us off. And we, fantastically enough, for the maps that we have recently casted, WaXeN, we didn't get to see Ancient last time.
No, it's a new specialty, and honestly, we didn't get to cast the knife round either, as I'm already judging the knives. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Laurie, getting shanked in style already. So, okay, it's a 1v5, and that was the swiftest knife round I've seen in years. Nobody on the CT side died. To be more precise, there was a total of 70 damage dealt to the CTs. So I don't even know, maybe they didn't plug in their mouse on the T side.
There is also a possibility that, particularly as well, if you are a confident enough team, which again, both of these teams very much are, Wolfhounds, I would say kind of especially. I also was talking about the Puffins earlier. I apologize. It has been the GOATs. It's been a long series, and I'm now trying to get myself unmixed from the Valorant and the Counter-Strike, so apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. But yes,
we're gonna just boo you.
No, don't do it. No, I made a mistake on the internet. I'm sorry. But Wolfhounds versus GOATs has always been quite the interesting setup, much like actually Wolfhounds versus Puffins, but GOATs not really too concerned about the knife round. I quite like, because it shows confidence on both sides, It's
Ancient, right? So both sides, I would say, especially the tier 2 level, are fairly evenly matched depending on how you prepare for the map. But we have an entry, Keon getting the first kill, Moshi with the Julies, getting the trade right away. Youngtab has to find one, he stays alive. Very good playing behind the box, swings out again. Can he connect with the second USB headshot? The answer is no, as Alex gets the kill, but the Julies crying, spraying, praying, and Moshi gets the kill. Keon, the first kill will be the last to fall, and that's a great statement in the pistol round.
Very, very nicely done, Wolfhounds. The aggressive CT style, always love to see it. That kind of angle, of course, just push up, get yourself that full kind of deep B control, get yourself up to that link into mid, and then get yourself the flank, which is exactly what we had seen there. Excellent shooting. Both sides, Kian also doing quite a solid amount of work for the GOATs, but just unable to find the that necessary foothold. And we see pretty common setup, which is because after you win the pistol in Ancient, just run it down mid with the economy and Moshi. Oh, the timing.
I think he might have been hurt. He should have been hurt. And Kian had the Tech 9 at the first chance, so he's going to take out the M4. It's a 1-for-1. MA has to retrieve the M4, but they've completely abandoned the A bomb site. Obviously, the T's don't have X-ray like we do, but they're just going to get on site and plant the bomb. And in a round where you've invested nothing, I mean, it's a Tech 9 you purchased, but getting the bomb down is massive for the GOATs.
Big stuff. Wolfhounds maybe getting a little bit too anxious with that map control, and it actually comes back to bite them. The shots here from Shift. Oh, it's difficult at that range. Not quite going to be able to actually find a mark. Playing at those effective ranges there. Waffles doing a lot of a better job. Somehow, though, all members of Wolfhounds really staying alive. It's a clean shot, but really the only thing that's left for Spongy to do is soak up them bullets. Exactly what will happen. And the Wolfhounds adding already a second round for the CT side.
Only dropping 2 SMGs in the process, but I gotta say, I usually complain if you lose 3 weapons. I'm gonna complain with 2. They lost 2 weapons and they allowed the bomb plant versus exclusive Glocks. This is not the best. You know, you gotta manage your economy early on, especially if you want to extend your lead in the first half. As we see, am I seeing that correct? Is that Moshi going for a Kevlar without helmet?
It does look like it, yeah, which, to be honest, I mean, while obviously risky, you know, the AK is a one-tap to the head kind of regardless of that helmet or not, so almost respecting how proficient the GOATs are going to be in their shooting and kind of going for the whole... The Kevlar, the helmet's not going to save me regardless, so why would I pay for it? It's a risky strat, we'll see if it pays off. Obviously, Yard then is quite a bit weaker to utility. Meanwhile, though, the Wolfhounds have already managed to pick up that 3K onto the A site. No one from the GOATs is able to walk in.
Obliteration. Kian finds a single kill before falling in. It doesn't matter. All the good effort they put into that eco plant rather, will go down the drain because that was very impactless round, I can say. And now the Wolfhounds economy, they're not going to care at all about any of my complaints. We look at it, 9K, 8K you know, for Shift and MA respectively. And there's a partial investment from the GOATs.
Seeing a double Galil, double Deagle setup, and of course then you see, you know, the shields and the Kevlar, or the Bulletproof Vest and the Kevlar, of course, coming through. And we'll see if it makes the difference for the GOATs. And WaXeN, I'm just getting a bit of flashbacks here again for anyone. Of course, a lot of you will not know. The last time WaXeN and I casted, there was a quick 4-0. It looked like it was going to be a one-sided map. And then that was when the sets really started to get close. Yeah, the tides really did turn. And we'll see if that's going to be the case. Oh, okay, manages to get the frag, but it was a bit rough.
Yeah, very elaborated, but there's a chance here for the Galil. No Shift, just swings out AK-47, nice double headshot, go for the triple kill, and now the fourth one straight to the smoke. Can he connect? He cannot. It's going to be Waffle sending it all, but Shift, what a highlight, 3K.
I mean, hey, those Waffles seem pretty warm right now. Everyone seems pretty heated up, I gotta say, from the side of Wolfhounds. The confidence is there, the kind of aggression's there, the executes very, very clean indeed. Not even much of a reliance here from the Wolfhounds on terms of the utility. They've been pretty happy for the most part. Yes, okay, there's been a smoke or two drop, don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen too much kind of play off of flashes. We haven't seen like too much HE grenades kind of dissipating the smoke and then going for those angles. It's been very, very much just down to the gunplay.
Molly behind it. Waffles takes 1 HP. That's going to be a pretty interesting HP. Has faced 5 players. He's not going to find a single kill. The side opens up, and now it has to be Moshi with the heroics. Playing on top of the box, and he will get a tap, but not sufficient to kill Alex. So far, so good. The GOATs may be putting in some pace. Incendiary to slow it down. It has to be Travi. Self-flashing through the smoke. Infiltrates down. It actually gives away his position, which means Kian has a chance to swing out and get the kill. Wolfhounds, I would normally say save, but they've got 12,000. The only reason to save is because they have those AK-47s that they cannot purchase on the CT side themselves.
And that is the difference. I like this aggressive hold, though, because, like, you look at the GOAT's HPs, there's at least, you know, 3 members there in Ragoon, Sponge, and Alex. You know, they're fairly likely to die to the bomb if there's going to be any sort of control, but instead, no, it's going to be a full retreat away, as you said, WaXeN. Keep the AKs, an incredible gun that is always basically worth saving in scenarios like that, even overdoing the economy damage to the goats. And very nicely done for the goats. A first round on the board, and oh no, my crystal ball, it seems to be working a little bit too well, because could this be the momentum shift that the goats need?
Could be, but look at the money. I mean, it's going to have to be a solid, maybe even 5 or 6 rounds in a row from the goats to win, to break Wolfhounds. But at that point, then the loss bonus will increase quite a lot. Let's see, MA. It's a very late incendiary, but nobody contesting mid earlier, and that's not even deep enough. Sadly, nobody will see some action, but I like this from the goats. So far, the first 5 rounds they've played together. Now, it's slightly bit more spread out. 4 players in B and 1 outside of A. HE. Somehow not dealing any damage. I thought that was spot on. Abandoning B. They're just walking up B. They've given up the side. Moshi. Getting killed through this move by Lori. Cold Waffles realizing he made a mistake with that retreat, and the bomb site is going to be fully available for the taken, especially as Cold Waffles gives away the second kill. And I guess Wolfhounds are going to save again.
Oh, I mean, you do say that. MA looks a little bit antsy. He doesn't have the backup as well. Yeah, he's swinging into this completely on his own. He shows off his arm, but Nadia, were quite able to land those shots, instead gives away his life. But meanwhile, the rest of the Wolfhounds fall. Only one member around. Of course, the goats know where he is. He's going to have to do everything here, but let's face it, not even enough time. If he gets all the frags, it's still going to weigh the goats, but it's Spongy to finally put down MA, refuse to let him save the guns, and as you can look there, the economy kind of speaks for itself, though. The Wolfhounds are happy to run it back again and again.
I mean, the crystal ball might have been right, my friend. It looks very, very dangerous right now. I mean, it's hard to say it looks dangerous for a team that's leading 4-2, but we have history. That's the best way I can describe it. But I like this from the Wolfhounds, changing it up. It's almost never we get to see 2 AWPs in regulation on the CT side of Ancient, so this could most likely is going to surprise the goats. Kian has a good timing though. Incendiary comes a bit late, early rotation, and MA gets the first kill.
Absolutely clean. The utility's starting to come through, when MA, though, just shutting it down.
They were blocking each other. That's why Lori fell there. And now, Ragoon down to 21 HP, but look at Nadia. Might have a perfect angle onto Young. Travi falls, and that opens up the other side as Kian wants to get the CTs on the retreat. Perfect. MA going for the 3rd kill of the round. Nadia will find a double, but now they just gotta go away. You know there's a player here. Don't overwhelm. Actually, Shift misses. Has 2 opportunities, but Ragoon will put an end to it, and now it has to be MA with the ace to win round number 5 for the squad. He's gonna get Incendiary off the angle. Oh, not the best placement, but he will have time to reposition. What is happening? Are they making a barbecue in main?
Full cookout. It's no longer about the bomb exploding. It is about this being cooked to perfection. And so far, speaking of cooking, it's an overswing from Ragoon. It's an overswing from Ragoon, and because of that, MACE manages to pick up a 5k, walks away with the ace, the round victory, everything going his way, and a phenomenal crossfire. All that needed was just patience.
Well, I think the goats did everything perfectly there, other than the random barbecue mollies. There's only so much you can do when someone decides to just ace you out of the server, right?
Oh, that is a heartbreaker for the goats at this point now. All down to mental, all down to can you recompose yourself, can you get yourself, that sort of mentality right back. But yeah, MA may very well have just single-handedly put a nail in a coffin. It's very early to make that call, but that was a decisive win.
Give a slower round. Cold Waffles playing in the smoke is going to have a perfect timing onto Kian, catching Kian by surprise. And now the remaining T's are all in main. That HE misses, allowing Shift to get the kill. Second, nice correction. Headshot going for the 3rd's gonna get it full blinded from Shift. And now it's all Lori on an island on top of the box. Not the easiest angle to clear, but the bomb is not in Lori's position. And Cold Waffles is going to be the first casualty before Moshi comes in. Almost a flawless round, 6-2, and the GOATs, the biggest problem I have to say, Dante, feels like they're always together, which has propelled these full team rotations from Wolfhounds.
I fully agree, and I want to bring that up even more, kind of highlight that point, because it is so accurate, where the GOATs are holding down W. They are so prepared to kind of run onto a site and execute, and then the Wolfhounds, one incendiary, and then the GOATs are just stopping. The GOATs are just motionless. They have to then wait for like the smokes to pop or the mollies to pop. Yeah, they worry about a lot of stuff, and it's very, very easy for the Wolfhounds right now to kind of condition the GOATs like this. And we see the shotguns starting to be pulled out. We start to see maybe a little bit of cheekiness come through Travi here.
Drop down, stays alive, his position has been revealed, but look at Cold Waffles. Perfect angle, Mag 7 will not miss. Nadia falls the incendiary to get Travi off the angle. Moshi has to come back from Donut. Wow, low range kill. Mag 7 versus Mag 10. What are we talking about? M4A4 is also not going to be successful. Keon and Lori continuing their success in this round, and now it's MA. Had to ace once, this time only needs to get 4 to get the 7th round on the board.
You know you are doing phenomenal whenever you say the phrase only needing 4 kills. You know you're doing an absolute showcase of CS right now, but surely even for MA, no way. Okay. It's always that first frag though, and suddenly you go from a disbeliever to a full-fledged faither, and it will not be the case this time. MA falls, and GOATs, I mean, at this time they kind of need these 3 back-to-back.
I mean, they chose the side, did they? No, Wolfhounds chose the CT side. So maybe, the two teams do prefer playing more on the CT side. But I would still say, if they can't get all 3 rounds, anything more than 3 at this point would be good for the GOATs. And they pick up the AWP themselves.
We'll see how the angle comes through. We've been seeing, as you just mentioned, that AWP's actually been finding quite a bit of value for both sides. The shots from Shift in particular were absolutely filthy. Yeah, very good, weren't they? We'll see if any member of the GOATs can kind of match that at the moment. A very, very quietly paced round. By far the slowest paced round I think we've seen.
And they're spread out on the map. This is what I've been wanting to see from them, and that's gonna, precipitate Waffles to swing out and die. Lori gets another opening onto Travi. It has to be the player in Donut. Moshi again being unsuccessful on that angle. And the GOATs are on site. MA almost had the chance. Doesn't get it now. The AWP will hold him off the angle. Flash coming in, but has to face the player in down mid. Keon will not miss with the AK-47 and Shift. No matter how good he has been in those multi-kills, retaking a 1v5 with an AWP, highly unlikely, as he doesn't even attempt.
Okay, doesn't even get to save the AWP, doesn't get to do any damage to Key in there, or supposedly then GOAT's economy. And we'd mentioned, WaXeN, you talked about specifically, how difficult it was going to be to break the Wolfhound's economy, but it turns out when you've had to kind of rebuy that AWP 2 rounds in a row, that money dries up real fast. That well is suddenly running quite a bit emptier than you were initially expecting. If the GOATs can get this round, we might very easily see that 6-6.
I love this. Being a back and forth game is what I could only dream of. As they're changing up the pace again, going more players in there. Could overwhelm Waffles. He's alone with Max 7 in sight. The rotation is coming in, but the AWP is smoked off the angle. Now the molly is going to come in perfect. You can hear the sound cue of the AWP player, but Waffles still gets 1 with the Max 7. He does connect with 2 shots, but 3 shots connecting, but that's only enough for 68 damage before he gets taken out. Now Alex off the off take will zoomless kill Shift off Travi. Has 1, has the 2nd, making this one way closer. The Wolfhounds are already fully rotating, 1 player low. If the Moshi gets, oh my goodness, on top of the side with the MP9. Dante, what are your thoughts on the MP9?
I mean, hey, you know what? If it's gonna be doing work like that, if it's gonna be completely banging through walls like that, then you know what? Let's see a bit more of it. Both of these teams have actually been repping the MP9, and they've been doing some damage with it. Maybe I would not say an underrated gun. I think it's given the love that it kind of needs, and it completes the role that it should do. But It's a very sort of Hail Mary weapon. Occasionally you can see shenanigans like that. The XM10, the Mag 7, they can do that too, but it always seems to be that MP9 just absolutely clutching up and doing phenomenal stuff. And now, with a full equalized buy for both sides, basically everything working out. In fact, Cold Waffle sticking with the MP9. We'll see how this last round goes for this half.
Oh, they change up. 5 mid. They've not done this before. They're all going towards Donut. They could catch them by surprise. We see Travi. He's backside. He's up heaven. They need to control the spray down and get the kill easily. Can they expect the boost though? One player is close. They swing out and they get Moshi right away. Maybe the Achilles heel of this Wolfhounds team. Moshi hasn't really had success at all whenever they're hitting the A bomb side. Now Nadia goes out versus an MP9, but Waffles is so low in HP. Is Nadia going to be patient or is she going to swing? They're holding it. Waffles falls and it's shift. 1v5 gets the first, falls for the second, and it's a 7-5 lead at the half. Dante, what a great first half for this best of 3.
It's very, very clean. It's very, very solid. Of course, you know, Goats would have wanted that 6-6, but a 5-7 scoreline. We both mentioned it kind of at the start that Ancient particularly, there doesn't feel like too much of a kind of sway. Of course, you know, being the defenders, you're always going to be the ones holding the angle. Okay, 90% of the time, you're going to be the ones holding the angles. You're going to be waiting for your opponents to push into you. So there is a lot of the time that favor that comes off of that just by nature. But 5 rounds for the Goats, you know, as clean as it was. Oh,
it's
the Veg
Rush B. Classic brush with a lurk in mid though, Ragoon, which by the way is a great nickname. We'll talk about that more at the halftime. Alex plays off the angle, realizes can't take them all. Spots the first one, second one will let them cross, but he needs to get something, get to kill the bomb. Alex, hello? He's going for the ninja. Alex is going for the ninja. Oh, no, he's not. Gets the kill, turns around, shift, in position to get this kill. Glock versus USB. Alex has a sound cue, but will not get the kill. It's now Moshi and MA versus Lori on half HP. The time is ticking. There is no defuse kit for Lori, but will manage to infiltrate, can isolate the duels, potentially. Very, very slow, needs to be more active, gets spotted, 1 bullet away from dying, will tap the bomb, cannot commit to it, as Moshi will overwhelm with a double kill. And Dante, please, what was going on through Alex's head right there?
Look, it's a cool spectacle. Don't get me wrong, that's sick. Like, being able to kind of sneak past the opponents like that, yes, it's cool to watch, but as you said, like, he probably should have just pulled the trigger a little bit earlier or went for that kind of, you know, immediately kill the bomb planter immediately. Because you got to remember, if you kill the bomb planter, obviously the bomb stops being planted. Duh.
Yep.
But someone else then needs to start planting it too. So you technically get a 2-for-1 as long as your team can play off of it. So I think that was that was what you believed was happening, and then I think just a little bit of cold feet. I think just seeing too many players and the trigger discipline ended up being too good. Oh my days! And speaking of discipline,
good kill. Swinging out. They want to overwhelm this this AK and Mac 10, but MA is the one picking up all the kills, which obviously means extra dollars in the bank for the keys. MA getting already a solid 1800. Moshi will fall off the angle, doesn't want to get surprised by 2 crazy pistol players through the smoke. MA still looking to hunt for more. Travi and Cold Waffles can do the same with the Mac 10s. I actually don't want the Galil and AK to get involved at all. And MA is going for the ace, jumping it. All right, behind you, turns around, 180 and gets the kill. That's the second ace of the game for MA. That's right?
Yeah, the MA and the A in MA stands for ace, is what we're going to say for there. Absolutely clean stuff. Okay, the first ace, obviously quite a bit more significantly impressive. You know, that was the biggest clutch that WEL has probably seen, or at least very much WEL 9 has so far. So that was clean. That ace, still good, but, you know, people always have a habit of kind of downplaying aces when it's eco buy or a kind of lower buy, so, you know, just to kind of satiate those people, or at least to kind of shout them out. Yes, okay, that point is valid, but still, you get those frags, you do that damage, you get that confidence built up, and the Wolfhounds seem so happy with this confidence. This momentum is absolutely killer. The Goats need to find a pain point to really apply pressure.
Yeah, they need to win this round effectively. And actually, I think they need to win it convincingly with 3 people, a shift. He's not going to check this corner, and he's got to get obliterated by Ragoon. Drops the bomb! You can't be the one going in first without the bomb. And now, Nadia swinging out, pulse flash, but the trades are coming through, Dante. Another push to the smoke. Alex gets the kill. We are lagging a bit, but it doesn't matter as Travi isn't. Oh, the lurk. The push around. Lori, MP9 in hand, but Travi says, wow, what a round. A spectacular display, showcase, I could even say, of trading for each other, and that's how we got a last player standing. But, as I said at the beginning of the round, for the GOATs to convince me that they are back on track, they needed to keep 3 players alive, and, well, that didn't happen, did it?
Not even close. Not even close. And if the Wolfhounds are kind of playing this sort of faster style that we would, you know, that we've kind of grown to expect, but from both sides at this stage, you know, the utility from the GOATs hasn't been that same level of kind of slowing down the GOATs, which I think we've just seen right there. Or the GOATs, sorry, not slowing down the Wolfhounds the same way the Wolfhounds were able to slow down the GOATs with the utility. But okay, we like to see that lurk, and it's immediately though.
Look at Travi has the perfect timing, and actually MA is doubling up. They're not going to expect the second player. Alex gets the kill, and now the spray down from Kian is coming in through. Alex turns around again, another 180 turnaround. Please be patient, Alex. No, he doesn't care. Swings out, gets the kill, wins the round. Stop flashing. You won the round, guys.
I think they've stopped counting. I don't think they've counted how many people they've killed. The GOATs just, I mean, that's tunnel vision. That's locking in to a degree that I don't think anyone has ever locked in, where you are still firing utility at the bomb site that is, you know, gone quiet, gone completely silent. Still though, very, very clean. And that, honestly, while not 3 surviving members, I feel that was a bit cleaner from the GOATs there.
No, definitely. They're coming along nicely. I would have said Alex to slow down and wait for the teammate, play the 2 versus 1 advantage, but hey, I can't complain about it if it works, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Why would you? I mean, if it's fixed, even if it's not broken.
Not
oh my day.
Gets overwhelmed. Alex, smokes main. Team comms, hello?
What?
Okay, Ragoon has to find a couple here. Gets the first one. Second, good spray down, connecting. Only 7 damage dealt to the box onto MA, and now the kill with the picked up M4, and now Mac10 for the final nail in the coffin as Lori in a world of hurt. 1v4 actually will make me eat my words as turns around, gets instant 3 kills. For some reason, Moshi didn't want to retrade for his teammate. This smoke might actually help Moshi. Flash, very out. Question marks in the chat. Now pushing through the smoke. They're blocking each other.
Big cuddle. What the?
They're running out of time. Moshi's going for the knife. It's a kill. It's a win. It's 1500 in the bank, and Moshi playing that patiently enough to get the round victory for the Wolfhounds. I want someone to clip that round.
I'm picking up my jaw. It's on the floor. Give me a second. Oh my god. Okay. There is some situational awareness. There is confidence. There is and then there is Moshi. Absolutely incredible display to have that confidence and to not get punished, to get away with it, and as you said, 1500 in the bank, and then, you know, following it up with a beautiful Kobe with a HE need at that kind of level. Hell yes indeed. MA as well on that lurk in mid, not allowing Spongy with this control, and off the back of that one frag, let's see what A-Site has for us.
Kian comes out. He is ready to get a couple, keep his team in this round. Shift will finally put an end to that defense. MA spots 2 players, gets out. Now, unfortunate timing. This is the story of every FPS player ever. You take out utility, you are getting overwhelmed. He will stay alive. Look at the HP though. Significant advantage for the CTs, but the weapons are definitely not in their favor.
Definitely not. And the utility as well. The smoke's all going down. Every nade that is thrown is one less piece of kit that you can work with here, and the gun advantage spray from Waffles not quite as clean as maybe you want. And actually, a lot of damage here. Like, look at these health bars. The Wolfhounds, everyone kind of needs to get out, or this bomb is going to make them stay by man.
Was too late. The attempt from Ragoon and Nadia, they needed to be more decisive in this takeover, Dante. And I know we spoke a lot, we often speak a lot about tactical timeouts. We haven't had anything. Please put me up to speed. Is that not in the rule set, or are the GOATs just forgetting about them?
Oh no, you can absolutely time out. You can absolutely tactically time out. The WEL has always been very fast paced though. Teams are very atypically using their timeouts until basically grand finals. Occasionally we are in the semis now. I think I also did say right at the start that we are in grands, which is again another spreading of misinformation
getting ahead of yourself
on the internet. Yeah. That's me looking forward to next week. Which, to be fair, if these sets of games are anything to go by, then next week is only going to be even more exciting. Oh, Kian! Okay.
Oh, my goodness, Kian, where did you hide that all game long? Maybe drop the weapons, play the Deagle. Still standing his ground. They haven't picked up any of the rifles. Ragoon, though, another Deagle headshot. Someone pressed insert key because this team is popping heads, taking them out. Alex will fall 2v2. Should be an easy pickings for the Wolfhounds, but not based on what we've seen as Nadia comes in. Another pistol kill. This time is the USP Moshi alone. 1 versus 2. The bomb is ticking, but the Ragoon 3K with the Deagle. Actually, it's just a 2K, but you know. Exciting stuff. I don't even know what to say. More of that, please.
Yeah, a 4K overall with Deagles of Ragoon and Kian pulling off an absolute masterclass. Nadia, the little love tap on the head as well, just as a congratulations there. Goats, all of a sudden, from that round alone, completely shifting how they want to have their presence on the map, completely shifting how they want to like kind of retake, how they want to control the rest of the sites and those angles. Phenomenal work, and Wolfhounds, I mean, they had no clue that was happening.
You know, it was something out of this world. I mean, I would have loved to see Kian's paw because those shots must have felt amazing. And you know, that's what you need. Wolfhounds are not a 12 yet, so getting 2 players with 2 beautiful Deagle headshots, they're going to boost the confidence. And who knows, you win this round, and then the economy of Wolfhounds might not look as healthy as it does now as Nadia gets the opening. How is Cold Waffles here?
That seems to be the ultimate question so far in this set, is always there's at least 2, maybe 3 people in completely shocking places as MA manages to find Spongy all the way over in Donut. Honestly, don't get me wrong, the aim has been phenomenal, these shots have been good. I genuinely think people just need to be looking at the minimap right now to watch how the Wolfhounds are managing to just walk around this map, because the Goats were not allowed this level of freedom on their T side, I must say.
It was also the setup, right? The Goats were more often together when they were attacking, whereas Wolfhounds are spraying around the map and they're exploiting the gaps in the defense of the Goats. So if you are one of the teams, let's assume the Wolfhounds will make it to the grand final and you want to play Ancient versus them, you have to exploit and study how they are piecing this map. And speaking of sticking together versus spreading out, look at the radar.
I mean, I did say, look at the minimap for a round and see how this is going. And exactly as I've requested, you get to see that full 5-stack towards the B site, mid giving up A, being about to be walked onto for free. I mean, the Goats here are going to really struggle with this. I mean, it is the last round, potentially, and the spray from MA and the shot from Cold Waffles. That could very much seal the deal for our first map here.
It's a spray and a bit of a prey if you are a fan of the GOAT squad. Right now, USP in hand, last player standing, it has to be Alex, not Alexis, attempting this. Has a defuse kit, a list, and they are team flashing each other to get the kill. Shift is going to put the final one into the ground with a incredible map of Ancient, which I'm going to go on a limb and say, Dante, that I assume this was the map pick of the winners here, because they play this map so much better than the Goats.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, Wolfhounds, don't worry, you're getting it, man. It feels like you've been here for a whole season already. But yeah, absolutely, good point. Like a fair point there. Goats doing okay, not by any means, you know, looking completely lost or anything or confused. But as you kind of pointed out, you know, the Wolfhounds very much just deliberate on their positioning, very much understanding, you know, how they wanted to split up, how they wanted to kind of make their presence known. Goats, whenever you are a bit less confident as a team, you want to play together. You know, you want those refrags, you want those trades, you want the understanding. But the Wolfhounds, both sides on T and CT, were very good at exploiting that.
Absolutely. And honestly, I would love if we could get a confirmation of who picked the map. Because if this was not their map pick, I'm kind of scared for map 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very fair point. And we don't even know map 2 yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case anyone is wondering, what was the map pick? Oh, do we? I didn't look. I didn't look.
We do. I think we got... I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, I think we got Dust 2 next, and then New Class.
Oh my days! I did not. Oh my days! I'm not even reading, ladies and gentlemen. I was going in as blind as y'all. I apologize, but I apologize sincerely. Oh my days! Yes, as you said, there is no misinformation being spread by WaXeN. I feel like this is the two guards at a door. One of us always tells a lie. One of us is always telling the truth. And so far, I think we're working out who is who right now.
Yeah, the problem is, if you figure out too early who is telling what, then what's the charm in it. But what a great map, and I kind of want to talk about impact players, right? Because, Cold Waffles, you look at the score, and I think he was on a deficit, definitely not positive, KD. Maybe, I have the picture, 11 and 15,
11,
right?
15, yeah,
but
11, 15.
Those kills when holding on the CT side, the site alone with an MP9 and with a Max 7 were so impactful and damaging to both the economy and the mental of the attackers that I gotta say, I will throw their name in the hat. At the same time, we have to look at young Travi, a few very impactful rounds. Moshi maybe a bit less there, Shift with the AWP, but how can we overlook MA with a double ace?
I mean, 10 kills alone in 2 rounds is absolutely phenomenal stuff. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is only map 1. It could be the penultimate map, but we are going to cut to a very short break until we find that out. We're going to let the players get themselves set up. We're going to let ourselves get fed and watered. I, myself, I believe, I'm going to pour another one of these, and we shall see you right after the break. And hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are now moving on to map 2, and I have a big reveal from my man WaXeN, who I did point out, which is, it turns out you may not know which of us always tells a lie and always tells the truth, because we did have a little bit of a miscommunication there, and we just want to change it. So Dust 2 is actually going to be our decider map, which means we move on to, I am going to be very controversial and say this, my favorite map to watch in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's what I like to call the duo sensation of misinformation. Oh, that does make sense.
Banger.
It is. Yeah. That does make. Wow. Okay, because they banned. Wow. Guys, you know, I haven't really been banning maps in a while. You know, when you play pubs without a team, when you comp on Faceit, I don't play for Faceit Premium, so I don't get to ban it myself. It's usually a random guy that just, I ask him to ban Mirage and he does it, and so all I play is Mirage. So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy we get other maps. But Nuke is crazy to pick because you start on the T side, but historically, you start on the T side if you pick Nuke, but we've seen we're doing knife rounds, which is very, very different for best of threes, I have to say. So, you can pick Nuke and win the knife round to still star CT.
Which is a massive deal, especially, you've got to remember, so we were discussing this as well, one last detail, believe we did point it out at the end, but Ancient was GOAT's pick. So now we move on to Nuke, Wolfhound's pick, and Wolfhound's playing a 13-8 on Ancient, kind of that consistently, that kind of clean. Again, GOAT's had absolute, you know, spots of very solid play, of excellent team coordination, but they were stuck together. They didn't really afford to kind of have one player go and do that lurk. Wolfhounds did that perfectly, and if there is one map that is a nightmare to deal with a possible lurk, that is so paranoia-inducing from just angles that people can hide in, Nuke is certainly up there.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Again, I think the nice round will tell a lot, because we spoke about, you know, who picked what map, and I do think you really want to win this knife round if you're the side of the GOATs. You are one map down, and you definitely want to start on the CT side of Nuke to actually generate some of the momentum back in your favor and maybe upset with the Wolfhounds, because they beat you on your map pick and you didn't look that confident around it as, you know, as a whole. So that makes me look bad, because I predicted we're going 3 maps.
Hey, you know what? If anything, WEL, I think, has quite a notorious sort of reputation for either just the complete kind of 2-0s and stuff kind of up until like close to the grand finals, but if there is one league, and I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart, shout out, like, all the other leagues that I've worked, all the other productions have been phenomenal. WEL has been the source of the maddest upsets, of the wildest, you know, belief of who's going to win, you know it's going to be this, and then all of a sudden, from the brink of defeat, from the jaws of defeat, victory is snatched by an underdog, and it's always an incredible scene to witness.
Wow, what a storytelling here from you, Dante, and this is one of the reasons I love working with you. But I gotta ask you, do you think, is there any potential for a comeback? Like, give it a percentage. Like, I guess there is a chance, but like, what percentage would you give it?
No, I'm not. I would never, whenever you say that, I'm not going to good nature go, yes, of course, right? Yeah, obviously there is, but I'm going to say, I'm going to give it 60-40 that the Wolfhounds are going to do this 2-0. It's a very confident showing from Ancient. It's a very confident, as we said, you know, you'd pointed out kind of how good the control was, but the GOATs did have, I believe it was round, I want to say it was round kind of like 18-ish, where me and you were both watching and we had not realized the level of rotation that the GOATs had done. And we have access to the minimap. We can cheat. We have wall hacks. We have everything. We can see the players. And we still hadn't realized how confident the GOATs suddenly were. And if they can harness that in Nuke, I'd be very excited. I mean, we've seen how the op plays worked out as well for both teams. I mean, Swift was incredible with those shots, so we'll see if anyone can match him outside. If they can cash him outside, we might move to Dust 2.
And I gotta say, right, the score was rather close, what, 13-8? 2 of those rounds were aces, right? It goes the other way. One of them was a clutch ace, I think. So it would have been, what, 11-10? That's a different ball game. You cannot count on players getting back-to-back clutch aces in 2 maps in a row, right? No matter how good MA it is, it's often after you hit such a high peak, it's not easy to replicate.
I mean, there's a reason why people say the bigger they are, the harder they fall. When there is sometimes when the only thing you do is you get to that peak, there is only one direction down, or you could easily just coast off of that. And MA seems like a consistent enough player, but there's always that concern. There's always that endurance as well. Yes, even a best of 3, it's not quite the best of 5. Best of 5s are very long slogs a lot of the time for players. They really have to kind of dig deep and find everything to keep themselves going. Best of 3?
Yeah.
You're a bit more comfortable. Best of 3, you do have that opportunity. But, again, GOATs answer back here, a 13-8 of their own. A big fight in Dust 2, with both teams kind of warmed up, ready, the momentum, very much kind of favoring one than the other. I think that would be absolute cinema for a semi-finals nonetheless.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And we often have to talk about, the nerves. You are one map away from winning. You've got everything to lose at this point, and you're going to be on your map pick. You might be feeling the pressure of, we actually need to win 2-0 now. Whereas if you're the GOATs, you're like, well, we lost our map. If we lose, we're out. Let's just give our all and have some fun. And that's when you get to play the best Counter-Strike.
Always. This is you mentioned earlier in terms of win percentage, in terms of what's it like, and I said the 60-40, but it's always really good because you see that kind of those push back into the corners, and that's when the 1% plays start coming out. But that's when they maybe work. Those big risky plays, they start to actually find some footing, they find that value, they get you that space, and that's whenever as you said, the best Counter-Strike comes through. If anyone is familiar with fighting games, it's the same kind of thing where players are going to act, very compact, very sort of tight, and then at the last round, both players are so evenly, and then the big stuff comes out, stuff that's ridiculously risky, stuff that should not work, but it a lot of the time
somehow does.
Yeah, a lot of the time it somehow does, and that's, as you said, a spectacle and a half to witness.
Incredible. I mean, it's the beauty of Counter-Strike, one of the king esport games, if not the king esport games, as there's a lot of online talk. What are your thoughts, Dante? What is, maybe don't say, we don't want you to ruin your relationship with working any other esport titles, but if you could, what is the king esport?
Oh, the king esport? Oh, okay. Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel. That's putting me on the spot. And, obviously, Counter-Strike will, I believe, maybe not for myself, but Counter-Strike will always have just such a place in so many people's hearts. And I do believe that in terms of the king, it probably does have to be Counter-Strike. Whether my personal opinion reflects that or not, that's a different story. But Counter-Strike is probably the most, recognizable, most understandable, kind of easy to follow. The only one that would be more easy to follow is Rocket League, but that's because everyone knows football. That's very much it. But Rocket League's very tight-knit. It doesn't quite have the same expansive reach. I mean, Counter-Strike, for all of my life, Counter-Strike has been a professional thing. Yeah, Counter-Strike has been a professional thing. The only one that would have came close to that beforehand would have been, Halo, and that was when MLG was considered, maybe not a meme, but that's all anyone knew it was people would say MLG is kind of a joke, because esports was as young as I was, a baby. A baby.
Wow. Okay, I like that. I mean, you're covering Counter-Strike. You gotta say Counter-Strike. I do think Counter-Strike is the king of esports. Do I think it's the best game to play? That's a different conversation. It depends on the shift. There's a huge community kind of complaining a little bit about the state of the game in the CS2 format that we have as of right now. And I do love myself Valorant. I do love myself Dota, probably above all. But I have started with Counter-Strike, so it's a hard battle. But you know what the harder battle will be? It's gonna be this knife round between the GOATs and the Wolves. We mentioned how important this round is going to be, and starting down 30 HP is not the way you want to.
Ragoon, I'm going to accidentally say that because it's fun to pronounce Ragoon like that,
best
so
nickname.
Apologies already in advance, but this is, as you said, very difficult to start missing 30 HP already, and we'll get to see how it works because, the last pistol round very confidently went the way of Wolfhounds, and Shift immediately carving up Kian. And I like this patience.
bit of a contact. Cold Waffles will win that engagement. 2 players low in HP, but 3 CT. We are CT anyway. What is going on?
I think it is. I think we'd already decided the half, but the
it's a gentleman's agreement, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, it seems like there was. Yes, because the pistol rounds. Oh, I thought there is a bit of disagreement. How do you solve a disagreement? Knife each other. If you disagree who's got sides, just do the knife round anyway, and we'll see exactly how it goes. The shoutcaster said, "I did not realize, WaXeN, I did not realize me and you were in charge of the sides, but I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to do it. We'll see. Have we got? No, okay,
Guys,
pistols are right.
Can I just say, ladies and gentlemen, listening to the casters mid-game is also not the way this works. So, yeah, my understanding is that we're going to put a pause on, and we'll see how it goes. This pistol round is more to warm up our wrists and our left clicks, I suppose. So we shall see which way it goes, Dante. But I do think the veto has quite an importance, I would say. So, I mean, if it goes by the way I say, I think we should play a best of 5, right? If I have the power, why not?
If we're allowed to decide, which team gets which side or anything, then yes, absolutely. Let's see an entire showcase of the entire map pool. Let's absolutely see how well it can go. Oh, nice shot. Oh, a double as well. Very nice. We will have to see if that's actually kind of chose to be a deciding round or not. I don't believe that pistol round's going to count, as you said, WaXeN, but there may be a possibility of just the miscommunications happened. The goats have actually walked away, and hey, if there's a way to get a map 3, it's give the goats the first round on the house. And again, being purely selfish, I don't mind it.
Yeah, wilder things have happened during my time covering covering esports games.
Absolutely.
As the game is unpaused right now, I would really like to ask for a confirmation from admin.
I believe admin are asking for a confirmation from admin right now. I think a little bit of shenanigans has come through, and oh, okay, Moshi has said C. I think this is gonna stick because the one chat, and of course, players and everything in chats you can kind of say whatever you want, and sources, trust me, bro, or sources, I made it up. But W.E. Elliott was very much, the knife round starts off, and then the picks and bans just kind of take control. So we'll see if that's the case. It looks like it's sticking down, and the goats then, in that case, have the initial round opening. Cold Waffle trying with the pistol, gonna immediately fall to Kian. Looks like we are. Yeah, we're making this work. We absolutely gonna run through. So a lot of stuff going through. Spongy manages to find Travi as well. So one member left in MA. The utility's just kind of spamming him out. If he can do, we seen a 1 versus X clutch before. If MA could do that, I would have just said give Wolfhounds the map.
Can I just clarify that the GOATs need to win this round? It is their map pick, so they started off right with 2 rounds on the T side. Every single round you can get on Nuke T is a golden mine. I used to say a Bitcoin, but the value is going down again, so let's stick to gold now. And 2-0 already is a great start for them. And look at the economy. A FAMAS, an MP9, not sufficient HEs. They could actually exploit it. Wolfhounds and Kian. Oh my goodness, what a headshot. His aim has been incredible. But now he gets dropped onto, spots a player, Ragoon will fall back, and now they're rerouting, going to ramp, where a single player is in hell. Smoke gonna dissipate, overwhelming him. Young Travi only finds a single kill, and then he falls.
Into the smoke he does go, and that shot, I want to jump back very quick into what Kian did, and that was on Shift. Shift was very much going clean with the AWP for the headshots in the previous game, so very nice stuff from him there. Kian adds another skull to his roster at the moment, to his feed. Moshi, though, in the meantime, the split here is very difficult. Kian playing off the double doors perfectly, but it doesn't mean Ragoon's kind of left on his own. But Kian, the angle's absolutely perfect. The bomb still needs planted, however, though. It's a fight between the 2 kings, the 2 titans, so far that we've seen.
And the bomb is not down, though. Kian has a lot of utility. He's gonna molly right and actually gonna go forward, but MA is not biting. The bomb has to be planted. 35 seconds, only tapping the bomb for now. MA is so patient. I have to respect the grind. Maybe consider a rotation for Keon would be the better thing to do. AG coming in, still MA not even close there. The bomb will go down. Time is gonna start ticking. Can we get a better repositioning for Keon? Might catch MA by surprise. AFK in all chat, I respect that, but Keon has the game set, has the timing, swings out, gets the kill, and what a headshot! Keon with a 4K taking out MA!
Oh, and not quite the ace. Not quite the ace that MA got, but certainly a statement nonetheless. 9-0. The rest of his team having a collective 6 kills. The rest of the server having a collective, let me try and do my fast math, 14. I'm sure someone's going to correct me and it's actually 13, but I tried. A phenomenal setup, but you did mention it, WaXeN, and very quickly, MA's patience, that just confidence to not move, that rock solid determination, very impressive stuff.
I mean, even Keon, you know, not even considering the possibility of a reroute was impressive enough. But now Alex, slowly catching someone by surprise, and he will. Taking out MA, the big hitter, but Shift has to step up. Only good for one. One player top hut. It's Cole Waffles. He's got a lot of kills with the MP9, and he's going to start again with a 1, with a 2. And now doubling up, stopping this push, spots the player in main. Laurie gets 1, but if our position gets given up, Laurie, you need to get out of there. I think the bomb's in position of Laurie. I don't know what Laurie's waiting. It's going to get overwhelmed. No, the bomb's down, actually, and Moshi up the ladder with the kill. And with a partial buy, Wolfhounds get their first on the board. And is this shades of game 1?
Could be. Could be. It's WaXeN, maybe you and I are simply cursed to do either a 4-0 or a 3-1 just at the opening of every single game we cast, which I'm not, I don't hate. I don't hate. Keeps it relatively close, keeps it relatively, well, very exciting, I should say. And I want to point out what the Goats were doing at the start there. It kind of fell off at the end, which is why the Wolfhounds were able to take the round, but very good refrags, very excellent positioning and very excellent placement. Wow. We're seeing it. Oh my days, MA and Shift just gunning down through the smoke. Oh my, oh, it's all blue.
It's Alex alone, has 1 to the left, spots the shoulder, but doesn't get the kill as MA gets the first multi-kill of this map. And, you know, it's nuke. You lose 1, you lose a couple, the economy is gone, and you got to consider, Goats, what are we doing? Are we forcing? Are we saving? I think the correct answer would be saving here, and they seem to agree with me so far.
It's good that they are. There's one member, Alex, not Alexis. Okay, I was going to say, I don't actually hate the Hail Mary AK. The Hail Mary Galil, little bit less of a confident buy, in my opinion, personally, but that's maybe why I'm sitting here and they are in the server, absolutely gunning each other down. And another very fast-paced outside push from the Goats. It's been a little bit shaky, mainly just because the Wolfhounds have been able to control them. The Goats were doing far better, just kind of controlling either that A or that B site. This outside not working quite as well for them as they'd maybe like.
Okay, the Glocks will, well, actually, the Galil will get the kill. That rhymes from us on top of red. Ooh, Travi given the opportunity to get the kill there, and now they're rushing Cold Waffles. First time he's playing with something that's not a small gun. AWP will not get the kill. Oh! Another fast zoom, no zoom kill from Nadia. Shift has to clean up some of the mess that the team left over. Smoke goes right, Shift goes left. Travi on the flank. Doesn't spot the head, heard the sound cue. Travi will be the element of surprise, but does he know Nadia crossed? That's what I want to know.
Oh, he maybe does. Oh, he does, and it's a beautiful shot. Is there the knowledge that the remaining member is in that control office? Yes, indeed, Ragoon falls, and a 3-3 equalizer. It's insane how much the momentum goes one side and it completely flips. Fate is a cruel mistress, and right now she seems to be playing both sides so that she always comes out on top.
That was an eco though, and Goats made it very dangerous. I have to say, if they could actually replicate, well, it was a half, what? Wait, they had a Galil, but I thought it was only a Galil in Glocks. Right? The economy says otherwise, and now Travi eats an HE, the spray down. He stands his ground. He wants to get more, running out of bullets. But the Cold Waffles is here. He done it with a Mac 10. He's done it with the MP9, and now the AWP is going to be the next weapon of his choice to get some kills. Ragoon, last one standing with a... What a beautiful HE.
That's me.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
I think I might have played with Ragoon in, like... Premier games, because my 5K teammates throw the same HEs.
Look, it happens to the best of us. It does. Maybe I'm coping. Maybe I'm sitting there because it happens to me. Maybe it doesn't happen to you, Mr. Face It level 10. But it's happened to me. It's happened to me, and I will be the first to admit it. It can be enough of a it can be enough of a kind of panic there, that little misplaced on the HE grenade. But what was certainly not misplaced very quickly, Cold Waffles on that AWP. Those shots were very, very crisp, and we're gonna see if he can do it again. He's moved. A miss.
This is the first one. Has a second chance. Spotted the glove. Didn't shoot. Very patient. Oh, there's a gap in the smoke. Spots the... He saw the head. He definitely saw the head, but shift. Another gap in the smoke, and that's going to allow another double, triple entry. Shift in the middle of the open. Not afraid of anything. The goats back towards the walls. Nadia falls. I don't even know where Kian is.
There he
he's
is.
inside, but no bomb. Spots one, but he gets spotted in exchange, and Dante... We spoke about this game one, I think, a tactical timeout. Well, it's about time for them to ask for it.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would like to see it at this point. There's plenty of, you know, obviously positions. There's still quite a lot that can be made work here, and the GOATs are certainly capable of doing it, but going into this without that is an unnecessary handicap to yourself, and in my, and I'm sure your opinion as well. It does make life a bit difficult for no real reason, and I'd like to see the GOATs, because right now they're trying to kind of play this super aggression style, but Wolfhounds are matching them really nice. I'd love to just see what the initial setups were, because GOATs were doing so well on those initial A pushes, that initial presence just incredibly good to try and force those engagements in their favor. I'd like to just see that patience a little bit more.
Cold Waffles with a very unconventional angle for an AWP. Might catch the tease by surprise, but speaking of catching by surprise, it's a push from Shift outside. Moshi gets the opening onto Ragoon. Second kill for Moshi. Finally falls. AWP Cold Waffles. With a cold shot indeed. Lori gets one, but Waffle stands his ground on top of Hot. Goes for the no-scope. Will not connect. MA cleans house, and it's only 2 kills for the measly goats that are definitely getting hounded by the wolves.
I mean, hey, if there's one, you know, wolves and goats, one typically the predator, the other typically the prey. If the goats are going to be able to stand and fight, there might need to be a bit more of an evolution from them here. Maybe the thicker hide, maybe that just, you know, stronger awareness from them, but they do need to change. They do need to adapt just slightly, because right now the Wolfhounds certainly do have the number of the goats. They've got all this position, they've got all this play, and to be honest, I mean, we've been seeing the kind of same executes come through. We've been seeing this kind of rush down trophy 5-man through it. We've been seeing then, you know, the kind of split going outside, and I mean, look at that. Do I really need to say anything?
I gotta say, I think Waffles kind of want to throw his name in the hat. He said, oh, you've been talking about Shift and MA. This map, I'm gonna actually show you what I got. So if we win this game, I might be in MVP contention, because my goodness, the way he's playing is incredible.
You hear that? You hear that AWP whenever there's an AWP shot, and knowing basically, I think we're on a 90% hit rate at least with the AWP shots, knowing that you're going to be, you know, one man down. Either if you're holding the AWP, you're against a lesser man. If you're not, then you're going to be down one, and then the rest of this just a cold, evil, firing squad. All members, I think, different kills there except MA. And by the way, here's the tactical timeout, WaXeN, that you were kind of asking, or at the very least a pause either way.
I would love to see what the economy looks like for the T's, because they have invested in this one. Losing 7 rounds in a row means the loss bonus is at its highest. But is it enough utility, enough rifles for them to explode onto one of these bomb sites? I would love to see a door play, right? That's what worked in Pistols, if you remember. They broke the door and the round number 3. So, breaking it down, coming in, hitting main hard with a couple of flashes, and surprising DCTs is the name of the game. I think this is what should be called right now by the IGL of the GOATs here.
I don't think there's any real way I can say anything else other than that, and it's giving me flashbacks to exactly what happened to the GOATs on Ancient. When they were confident to kind of just burst out of an angle to kind of show up, they were doing fine, they were great, but the minute Wolfhounds were kind of getting those mollies in initially, you were struggling. There was nothing. The GOATs would just go from running, stop. Just absolutely dead still, and then they didn't know what else to do. Wolfhounds, meanwhile, they're, repositioning, they're gathering a lot more control of the map, and GOATs are just kind of waiting until it's the meme of the bouncer, like, kind of standing in front of the door, and then he opens it for you. That's what they're kind of waiting for the Wolfhounds to do. But the Wolfhounds, nah, not today, mate. Not today, boss. A different night, maybe, but the Wolfhounds are not going to be giving any sort of presence to the GOATs at this stage, and I really think this could be the make or break round for the GOATs entirely. It's definitely the make or break round of this half.
Yeah, you need 4 rounds on the T side of your map pick if you want to win. Otherwise, it will be a complete disaster. Outside is their choice here. The closest person to contest is actually Waffles. I think MA might be under hell. Okay, gets a couple. It's on top of Heaven, actually. MA gets a couple, double, and a triple, as Kian is not up to par to contest this long-range duel. AWP for Cold Waffles misses the first shot, runs away, will not get caught.
He will just sneak out. But his positioning now, of course, has been found out. A re-swing from Spongy, and it actually works out. Tries to overswing and will pay for it with his life. Waffles getting these swings, trying to do what he can. The no-scope is not going to work out for him. Ragoon picks up the AWP, a commiseration gun, and he has 2 people left to deal with, but I have faith.
You do?
Okay, okay. Whoopsie daisies. My bad. MA gets a beautiful flank. Another 4K. Quite a lot of 4Ks this half, or this map, I should say. No aces just yet.
I like that. Not just yet is, it's very good, because you never know. We've seen wilder things happen so far.
A belief that maybe, the difference will just be down to something like the UMP. You mentioned the MP9, we mentioned that kind of, the gun that can just do a lot without much expectations. Oh my days, okay. Yes! Look at that. That's what was different. No respecting the utility anymore, just holding W. Excellent shot from Cold Waffle, but let's face it, Cold Waffle has always been hitting excellent shots. If we take time out of our day to compliment him, we'll be here all day. Meanwhile, Shift, though, gunning down 2 members of GOATs, leaving only 2 left standing. The bomb gets put down, but is there any angle? Moshi gets one with the auto sniper, and it's Cold Waffles with the slightly less automatic sniper.
So it's the 3v5 for Wolfhounds to make a statement, as we will be switching sides with a 9-3 lead. The GOATs came in hot, won the first 3 rounds, and then it all fell on his head. Dante, similar to what you mentioned, the curse of WaXeN and Maddante has been this week.
I mean, look, 9-3 is typically, and you did mention it, which last time it'll be brought up, 9-3, typically a Valorant thing. Typically, a superstition that comes from Valorant, but maybe that's all the GOATs need. Maybe they need to employ superstitions from other games, bring, fear and paranoia from a different shooter. They obviously get quite a bit of comparison between the two, but, very different games. But maybe GOATs need something like that right now, a bit more to hold on to. We'll see if they're able to deal with the Wolfhounds' aggressions the way the Wolfhounds were able to deal with them. It's an excellent first shot. The HE grenade finds its mark, but so far, advantage yet again, Wolfhounds.
The bomb's not planted. Well, it will be planted now. Kian gets one, but he is not going to find any more than that as MA gets the final headshot onto Ragoon. I'm looking at the 13th round mark, and I have to say, Dante, it's breathing down our necks. It's breathing down the GOAT's necks. And do GOATs have necks? Yes, they do. I don't even know why I thought that as a question.
Can dogs look up, though? Can dogs look up? If anyone gets that reference, please, of course, thank you very much, because otherwise I do sound insane. But yeah, goats have necks, dogs can look up, and these hounds could very well be going on to the grand finals. The buy-up has came through from Shift, a phenomenal pick at single, triple, quad! Not quite the ace yet again, but young Travis certainly able to finish the job that was started by the only member of the Wolfhounds to fall.
I am so sad Shift couldn't get the ace. This is definitely gonna put him down in our on our conversation for MVP. Definitely not worthy of contesting with the great MA. Also, look at this confusing mixed buy for the side of the GOATs. We got an A1, an A4, a Scout, an MP9, and a HE USP from Alex. Shift, blocking each other, smoke in, molly out. They don't know what's happening. They are all crammed in. A single HE from Alex will deal a ton of damage, and coming in doesn't quite land where he should have. Moshi gets the kill, but eats the headshot. Two players in main. Alex with a USP gets one. Kian with the second. Now Shift stands his ground. Sprays down to the smoke in main. Has another HE. Will throw it in the Scout. Will not connect. MP9 picked up by Cold Waffles, and you know he loves this sort of weapons. Also nice HE angle.
Flank.
Well,
the flank.
Flash himself out. Very slow flank though. I see that Nadia lines them up. And now it has to be Shift. 1v2. Doesn't have the bomb yet. They're holding that crossfire together. This is the way to play. I'm not reading that number, Moshi. Please don't. Okay. Doesn't quite control it. And Nadia, you were correct. The lurk worked.
Very clean. Very. I was concerned, and I was concerned like 3 times during that round. And initially, Nadia's potentially overly disciplined trigger that we did see from the GOATs beforehand. Potentially the flank just being a bit too slow, and then lastly, what we had seen a big deal, if anyone remembered, like Ancient does actually feel like a little bit ago, but the crossfire that the GOATs had that they ended up giving away just from an overconfident swing, or maybe just a lack of respect swing, you know, they gave that round away, and it could have been the difference, you know, as you said, WaXeN, you know, 13-8 can easily become like an 11-10 instead, and Alex, not Alex, is trying their best to ensure that kind of 11 is all they get, but this is a tough battle for outside, especially if Cold Waffles, meanwhile, with the Mag 10 able to get the shot through the smoke. Travi controlling Silo as well.
Alex has an opportunity to get a multi-kill here. Spots one, is actually getting overwhelmed through the door as well. Squeaky, and young Travi is going to open it up. MP9 long distance from Lori. Very optimistic as Cold Waffles finally does it with a rifle. It's gonna be Nadia with the clutch factor in a 1 versus 4. Still holding Shift, can isolate the duel, gets the kill onto the planter. Now, turn around, spray down with the AK-47. It's going to be Shift actually getting the long-range M4A1, and now we have 8 round for match points, I suppose. 8 round difference for match points.
A scary deficit. A terrifying deficit, one may say. And I like going for the flank again, but Wolfhounds just changing up the pace and making sure they don't get stuck, they don't get trapped, they are wanting to walk onto the site and kind of take it as quickly and as decisively as we'd seen them do beforehand, and not giving Nadia, obviously, that time for the flank. We've seen exactly how that works out in WaXeN now. Match point comes through. Cold Waffle still being flashed, continues to hold W, and takes Ragoon completely by surprise. Speaking of holding W, it's still happening. Garage is about to get cleared out. Hut from Kian, though, an excellent swing. Alex with a double from the Scout of all things. An excellent flash. Kian falls because of it. And MA, now the man, the myth, the legend, has to do it all, and he might just do it. He finds another angle.
Alex needs to connect with 1 bullet. 58 HP is sufficient to get the Scout kill. Shift is also below 50, and the Scout prevails. Now it's Shift, 39. 1 bullet of the Scout from dying. He's not AFK, he is hungry, he's ready, and he's holding the angle. Ooh, they both miss. There will be a second chance. Shift is still waiting. Has a smoke if he wants to throw it in. He's going to reposition and try to find a contact in main. The crossfire is perfect. It's almost impossible, but he will cut off one of the sidelines. He's out, gets the kill into the scout player. The refrag isn't there just yet. Turns around for the bomb. Molin had could get caught, and he does, as Laurie salvages Goats and keeps their head in for at least one more round.
Just do that 7 more times, and then do it 6 more, and there you go. You'll suddenly have it. Cold waffles getting into the head. Oh my, yeah. You want mental damage. You want emotional damage. Something that I have always appreciated about esports in particular. Yes, okay, there's times it gets taken a little bit too far and whatever, but at the end of the day, mental game, physical game, mechanical game, all factors of, you know, the difference between winning and losing. So if you do annoy your opponents, and your opponents are people that, you know, can get annoyed at stuff like that, absolutely, yeah, just abuse that through. What a smoke angle, by the way. Hang on, Kian being set up beautifully on the hut.
Gets the double, but MA still finds kills. It's somehow a 3 versus 3. MA down to 1 bullet away from dying from any weapon. The HE comes in. It's a bit behind Shift, who only takes 13 damage. We're now sprayed down to 25. Laurie, you're looking at the trophies instead of holding the angle. Cold Waffles walks in, takes life away with the AWP. HP advantage for the CTs, but the numbers are in the favor of the Wallhounds.
Oh, but Kian, I don't think he realizes. Kian? Okay. Kian not concerned. He's not concerned about Vent. He's concerned about this plan. No. The smoke goes down. Perfectly played. Raccoon. There to
Raccoon, he's got it. He's got it. He gets it.
Okay. We know where the bomb is too. Oh, it gets planted to spray through the smoke. Not gonna be enough just yet. MA jumps off of the bomb. Oh, this is bagging. Oh, this could be. Oh, this is tense.
The bomb goes down, and finally, good realization there for Kian. They've given away both of their positions here, so changing the angle, maybe approaching from different positions. Flash comes in, they're still gathering together. Kian swings out and gets the kill, and now gets out in the open. MA almost made us believe, but it's gonna be Ragoon finally clutching yet again. In a 1 versus 1, Goats have to win more of these rounds. I mean, they would ideally like to win them more comfortably, but as long as they win, they keep themselves into the semifinal.
I would like the chat to join me by saying, hey, all you gotta do is that 6 more times. We will count this down if necessary. If that's what it takes the Goats to get themselves back in, if they have to get 6 rounds for OT, sure, why not? I mean, look at the buy right now. Wolfhound's not got too much to work with. The Mac 10, not seen quite as much impact as the MP9, but to be fair, the MP9 has been absolutely kind of the gun, or the most valued gun, I guess, the MVG. As I say that, MA with the Tech 9 just runs it down through Nadia.
And Laurie, he's gonna get one. Has to find a second. The Mac 10, 80 damage, long range onto Laurie. HE coming in. Kian gets a double kill though, and he's gonna go straight for the defuse, I assume. MA still stands the ground in this angle behind the box. Gonna swing out, finds his first one, lines both of them up, and now has the opportunity of clutching this. Kian realizes the player is in ramp, does not have the smoke. Alex, I don't even know where. Throw the smoke on the bomb. Actually, the smoke goes ramp. This is not the correct choice. MA sprays down, pushing through the smoke, about to get the kill with a pistol, but Kian gets off the bomb, and the defuse comes through. Alex has the kit. And the Goats, this time they save 2. When is it gonna get close enough for you, Dante, to believe that the Goats can make the comeback?
I mean, have you not been listening? All you need to do is that 5 more times, and we're at OT. Okay, do I believe that the comeback is real? Right, completely honestly, no. But I love an underdog. I will always root for a close game. I will always root for the potential 3rd map. Again, just to see more Counter-Strike, just to have more incredible highlights. So at the moment, I'm absolutely biased. I am for the Goats because I would just love to see a bit more going on. And the Wolfhounds, a P90 actually bought from Moshi as well. This is what I was saying earlier about like the fighting games where you're trying to No, I don't think Kian's seen waffles there. But anyway, going back to it very quickly, yeah, like the fighting games where you start doing those really big risks to try and make the play, and we'll see if that works out for the Wolfhounds or if they get punished.
How can you not see that one? The resolution was not on their side. Oh my god. The stapler, that's what we used to call that weapon. Okay, almost got the kill, but it doesn't matter. The action happens elsewhere. 2-player advantage. Kian and the boys still with an opportunity to stay into this one. MA will get baited out and will lose the duel versus Kian. Smoke's coming in onto the door and now opening Travi. Alliance get the first kill. Stealth stands the ground. Diffuse coming through. He needs to reload. 2 seconds. 1. Is it gonna be enough? Travi gets another kill to the smoke, but they are blocking the bullets. They're sacrificing themselves, putting their HP on the line to keep themselves going as this semi-final is getting closer and closer.
All they need to do is that 4 more times. I don't know how much more I can say that sentence and keep getting it more and more hype. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are now saying it along with me, because the economy, yet again, a little bit scarier for the Wolfhounds. Actually, WaXeN, I see a gun in Moshy's hands, a particular favorite of yours, I might add. So we'll see if it finds any value.
Side.
Oh yeah, T-side XM10, hell yeah, let's see how that works.
Yeah, this is gonna be it's a big ask for them, but we shall see if it's gonna be successful. Nadia has a good chance. Yori comes out, it's a 1-for-1. Yori needs to get a kill, but he's Shift winning the duel through the smoke. And the XM doesn't see any action just yet, but they have the player advantage, and the goats, they're looking a bit scared. This XM running in A, Kian gets the kill, the XM will fall. Alex, player to the right, is not going to be aware. MA going to find an easy kill in the back of the head. Didn't hear when the window was broken. And now Ragoon and Kian, the last 2 players standing, trying to stop the Wolfhounds from making it to the grand finals.
Oh, it's such a tough ask. It's a little bit easier
one.
with that.
Second for Kian.
It's a lot easier with that all of a sudden.
But it's MA.
All of a sudden. But it's
They gotta smoke. They gotta smoke. You gotta smoke the bomb. Smoke the bomb. They're nading the ramp.
It's beeping.
Smoke the bomb. Smoke the bomb. I beg. It's behind you. He's closing the door.
Beeping.
He's playing with the door. It's faking. Gets the first kill. Second one. The bomb gets defused. Ragoon. Balls of steel to defuse that one. MA gets a 4-key, but it doesn't matter. The goats stay in.
I'm really sorry. I think I burst some eardrums there, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize sincerely, but they only need to do it 3 more times. Let's see that again. Absolutely, you just balls of adamantium, a complete an unknowable material is what creates that. And yet again, now the Wolfhounds, they've got the economy though still. A lot of M4s, 1 MP9 to try and clutch it out. The Goats though are really trying to make this work here. They really want to stay in this, and we'll see if they can.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I think the overlay got switched.
The score, yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
wow, he had like a 10-player transfer. As
We're back.
Alex will fall all player with the M4, it's Nadia alone, ran out. Oh, a double
Oh
kill.
my-
Yori pushing through the smoke. What is happening? The confidence on the players of the Goats is coming through the roof, and even the bottom fraggers, Yori and Ragoon, stepping up to the plate when it matters most, as Shift and Travi, 60 HP combined. They are getting opportunities to make their way onto the A bomb site, but the bomb is not in their position. Shift finds a kill.
I am now officially getting stressed, and when I have always had the rule of I am getting stressed because I'm enjoying this nice shot from Kian, and Shift, not much HP. Oh my days, Kian has the numbers down. I've always said if I am getting stressed, I find myself watching games where I'm going, oh my days, like I'm getting concerned. That means the players have to be getting so much more concerned. And yes, I have had to take a break. I haven't been able to say it. WaXeN, would you like to say the line this time? How many more times do we need to see it?
Well, 2 more times is the answer, Dante. I would love for the Goats to have it in them, but despite being a 12-10, I'm still not sure yet. Nice molly for Kian. It's going to slow down that Mac 10 attempt from the T's. HE goes somewhere. I don't know where, but Nadia has a nice angle. Needs to get at least 1. Lines them up, gets a double kill. Nadia going for the 3rd. Gets Cold Waffles down to a measly 5 HP.
I can't cast. I'm just yelling. I'm just
Yori!
going...
Yori! Yes, Yori! I mean, I'm not biased, guys, but I want overtime. That's what I'm saying. And Cold Waffles with 5 HP in a 1v4 gets the first kill. But I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna caster curse them, and I'm gonna say it's not going to be enough.
Why? Why would you do that to us? Why would you deny more peak Counter-Strike? Why would you ever in a world? I was like, right, okay, and I do want to go back. Of course, we are wanting, you know, the hypest thing, but we are not biased. But I would genuinely be surprised here if, unless you're a die-hard Wolfhounds fan, I would be quite shocked if you're not wanting, you know, the GOATs to at least get one more. If Wolfhounds get this 13-11, sure, that's fine. We've had a spectacle of a comeback come through, and with 40 seconds left and only 5 HP, surely we are seeing that 12-11 scoreline.
That's what I'm saying. It's not happening this round. And that's why Cold Waffles is
I thought you were saying the GOATs. I thought you were saying the comeback wasn't happening. I thought you were writing them off. I see.
No.
I see. That makes more sense. That makes far more sense. You know what? I like this break. This is a timeout for us.
Yeah,
and
my voice
I feel like
just
it's
recovered
needed.
it, and it's gonna go out the window in a moment.
Oh my days. Thank you, Cold Waffles, for looking after our voices as well as your potential mental here. But ladies and gentlemen, as that timer hits, as it says Nadia Rocks wins, all they have to do is one more time, and we get a match pause as well.
It's now or never. You gotta call the tactical timeout, and I think, you know, losing so many rounds in a row, this could go one of two ways, and that is your mental will be broken, you'll go to OT and you'll lose the game, or you convert and qualify to the grand finals right now.
Both sound impossible choices, and both seem like choices that both teams... Well, one choice seems like something that both teams want to go for, another seems like something that no team would rather ever decide. And by the way, just very quickly, to just change the topic from this best of three, just only if for a moment, 16-12 Sea Dragons on the other side, they won themselves a 2-0. So phenomenal stuff from them. So whoever wins this, which is important to say whoever, I don't think it's predictable anymore, whoever wins this is going to go and face the SEA Dragons. So ladies and gentlemen, do the GOATs have it one more in them?
One more time, and Ragoon says, well, I've got one more in me. They're not going to see this one coming. The AWP comes out. It's kind of partial glass cannon, as he has no defuse kit and no utility, but the Kevlar and the helmet is there. Look at the smoke setup. A very nice landing there, and they are going to go all the way through secret. The wall smokes, and that's what a headshot. Yuri taken out. He will only have to wait and see if the team can hold this map. Shift. Shot into the side. Kian. 1 HP. Is getting overwhelmed. Gets shot by Cold Waffles. And he has been the standout player for the CTs. And now Nadia has to step up. Gets one. But MA says, no, sit down. This is still my map. I'm going to qualify to the grand final as Travi gets the kill onto Alex and Ragoon. AWP in hand. Finds one. Double mollied off the angle. Has to be patient.
But with the bomb going down, there's only so much of a virtue that patience is at this stage. The Wolfhounds have been playing super aggressive. They wanted just to get onto the site, get the bomb planted, which is exactly what they've done now all the time in the world.
Has the M4 now, Dante. The time is ticking, though. They're not giving Ragoon any chance. Time's running in. Ragoon drops down. Not enough time to find both kills. And I think the Wolfhounds are one step closer at getting the Season 9 victory, as they are now officially the second grand finalist.
We get to breathe. And I can imagine actually both teams are also getting to breathe. I am a little bit heartbroken just because, not anticlimactic, but all of a sudden just very much the Wolfhounds going, yes, okay, this is the end. Very much that decisive run through outside, get yourself the control. Kian trying to hold his ground as best as possible. It just wasn't quite enough, couldn't stem the tide. And because of that, as you've said, now next week, the SEA Dragons are going to meet the Wolfhounds for the final, the big grand finale for CS2 WEL9.
Incredible work, and the second half of the second map was probably the best thing I've seen in a long time when it comes to, you know, tier 2 Counter-Strike. These two teams had a lot in store for us, and it's sad to see it go out like this in round 24, but hey, we played all of regulation, and I'm glad we even got to this point in the first place.
a 13-8 on Ancient. You know, you were maybe thinking a 13-8 as well. Remember, that was Goat's pick. So Nuke was the Wolfhound's pick. And then all of a sudden, the Goats looked like they could bring it back. And for anyone that didn't see it, for anyone that's not particularly interested in Valorant, of course you wouldn't have, but the SEA Dragons Valorant team, it was against the Wizards last week. They went down 12-4. They then won 14-12. So, as I said, we love to see the underdog story. We love to, and it was so close. And incredible stuff from the Wolfhounds. Very well deserved, but a excellent spectacle to try for that comeback that we've seen from the Goats.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have both of these teams, but in the end, you know, the Wolfhounds have eaten the Goats alive, and they made it to grand finals. But I think, give them a few months and rerun this game, I wouldn't be surprised if the Goats would be able to push the Wolfhounds even further.
I mean, WEL 10, it exists for a reason. It'll be the WEL hitting double digits. It would be so cool to see that. And what has been a crowning point of WEL, in my opinion, has been watching the development of these players and these rosters. We have started to, you know, back when WEL 2 or 3, and I think WEL 3 was my first introduction, you know, I knew none of these players. These players were all very new to me, didn't know how the playstyles worked, didn't know how the team compositions worked. Now, 6 Welsh Esports leagues later, all of a sudden, you get to see those favorites, you get to see those setups, you get to see those rosters really come in and thrive with each other. And one thing I've always pointed out, which WaXeN, I believe you're probably sick of, is if there's a one-sided match, teams don't learn very much. The closer the match, the more you have to learn, the more you have to develop. And both of the teams, I believe, even if the Wolfhounds win, still quite a lot to develop from.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the beauty of Counter-Strike. It's a game that even if you really reach the highest of highs, there's still always a place to go even further. So I hopefully we will get these teams going even beyond that in Season 10. But it is the end of the road for the Goats, as the Wolfhounds are now, you know, one step closer to being crowned Season 9 champions. With that being said, shall we talk MVPs, Dante?
Okay, well, immediately MA, of course, just from Ancient alone, immediately MA, but I do want to point out for the Goats, because there was quite a bit of impressive stuff from them. I really loved seeing the op against Shift. The op against Shift was phenomenal.
I like that. I like that. I was trying to maybe give it to Waffles. I was hoping Shift would be the one, but MA picked up the you know, the brunt of the last kills in the last round, and the last 4 rounds to be more precise, and somehow still ended up topping the scoreboard English, despite being at the bottom 2 just a few rounds prior, ending with 27 kills. So I'm gonna go with the obvious one. Sadly, he only got a double semi-ace instead of getting a double ace like we had in Game 1, but I do think MA was the standout player of the series on both Ancient and Nuke combined.
Yeah, I would think so too. A big honorable mention though to Kian. Massive honorable mention to Kian. Like, phenomenal stuff. So, of course, the rest of the players, like, don't get us wrong, but we can only pick really... You can only really pick one, but 2 is always kind of nice to say, because obviously, had we seen a 13-11 for the other side or even went to overtime, you know, Kian would have been the one that we were singing praises, because Kian always seemed to be doing, you know, a lot of work for the team, you know, a lot of 4Ks, a lot of control, a lot of setups for his team. So, a commiseration MVP for Kian, but MA... Yeah, kind of star of the show, I think, is a fair play from both of us. Or fair say from both of us, I should say.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I think we're approaching the end of our semi-final together, Dante, unless we have anything else you'd like to surprise us with.
Sadly not. Sadly, there will be no. Yeah, I know there will be no final kind of. You know, maybe I tell the truth. Maybe WaXeN tells the lies. There will be no final of that. This will be the end for tonight, but it is not the end of WEL for for either CS2 or for the rest of the games. So of course the semi-finals will be happening for the remainder of the games this week, and then next week, catch it all, the grand finals for every game. And of course next Wednesday, same time, the grand finals for CS2, the SEA Dragons versus the Wolfhounds. And if it can even hold a candle to this set, I am very, very excited, and I would highly recommend you do not miss it. So ladies and gentlemen, a massive thank you from me, WaXeN. It has been an absolute pleasure to be able to cast with you again so soon. Always adore it. And we thank you all very much for joining us as well. Until next time, 7 days from now, it's been a blast. We'll see you soon.